Welcome everyone to my channel. Today we're going to be writing a function, not a program. Actually, I think by now we should have known how to separate when we talk about writing a function, when we talk about writing a program. So when you hear about function is when your code contains a function that performs certain tasks. But if you just have other stuff like that, that there is no function, it's just a plain code, so it is called a program actually. So write a function that creates a copy of a string, removing the character at the position n. So it is going to remove a character at a particular position n. So not the Python way, okay, not the Python way, the C array index. So we are going to be using an array index to be doing that, okay. So we'll get to see that. So a prototype is given to us, which is remove this. We are going to copy that. You are not allowed to import any models, so we are not going to be importing any models in this one. You need to understand, well, I actually need to understand that because it's important. Having information actually is important. So that's that. Cat 101-main.py. So we get this sheet. We have a so now let's take a look at how it works. So for instance, this is a print function. Now inside it, we pass in the function we are working, or the function we created in another file called remove_character_at. Now it contains a string. It contains a string, of best school, and the targeted index we want to remove is 3. So best school, I think the targeted place should be T. B is 0, E is 1, S is 2, then T is 3. The white space there is 4, S is 5, and so on. So you can see the output here. So T, which is the third character, or which is the third index, is going to be removed. So that is that for that. Okay. Then another stuff we need to take a good look at. Let's see Chicago, which is 2. So Chicago here, which is 2. You see that it has CHICAGO. So C is 0, H is 1, right? I is 2. So I is going to be pulled out. So we have K, or Chi, it's not even Chi, Kako, anyhow. I don't know how to pronounce that. Then a situation whereby we have school and we're asked to remove the 10th index, which is this 10 index. That the school is not up to 10, so it's going to return back the school to us. So look at, we have S, which is 0, C 1, H 2, O 3, another O 4, L 5, then last line 6, and so on, but it is not up to 10, so it's going to return back a value of 2. Same thing applicable to Python here. So this Python, you notice that I'm going towards from this thing, going towards the back side. After 0, which is P, minus 1, nowhere to be found, minus 2, actually nowhere to be found. Yeah, so you can see that, and we end up having Python. Good. So let us see what we can do here to sort out this, to make our program function this way. So the first thing is creating a file. So I'm going over there to do so. So I'm going to navigate inside my desktop like that. Sorry. Then navigate to LX high level programming, then finally to 0x01 like that. Hit enter. So we are there. So now the next thing we're going to be doing here is we are going to, create the file. So I'm just going to say vi, then I'm going to paste the name of stuff I've copied, which is 101 remove char char at.py. So we have the Scooby Dooby open. Maybe the first thing I probably want to do is I don't actually want to set any string or any stuff like that. So I'm just going to go into insert mode, then my insert mode, I might decide to start with this and this. So yes, /bin /by. Good. So that's for the first instance. Now the next thing I'm going to be doing here is my function. So I'm going to paste the function I copied, which is this Scooby-Doo. Yeah. So now we are good to go. So I'm going to put that and enter. Now it's time to write our function. So it's very important to use what's it called? Write a comment actually. It's not really necessary, but it's very good. But I don't have time to be writing comments right now. So we just go ahead and this is our string. Now let me show you how this works. So for instance, I say print. So we want to access the index of each stuff there. So let me print some stuff, maybe the string str using the index format, just like this. So you can see what I'm doing. I write the string, which is the word itself, then I'm putting a square bracket. So now in that square bracket, you remember this stuff if you have been following it from the previous course, which is the introduction of Python programming language. So let's do some testing. So for instance, I put something like this symbol, then I put 3 here. Good. Now this is what I put there, and I want to test this to see how it works. So I can come here and call that function move. Oh shit. Let me copy that. Actually, we would not make use of the second parameter, but I can still provide some stuff there. So I'll come in here and put welcome like this. Then the second parameter, I can put null. Let's see, capital letter. No. What of empty? Oh, it's still the same. Let me just provide 0. So actually that doesn't do anything. The 0 provided, even if I provide 100, nothing happens because the end there was not used in the function. So I'm just making use of, it's going to access not string of this character. So let's escape and see what that. So now I am going to what's the name of the file? Okay, there is it. So I'm just gonna do that right away. 101. So just gonna chmod, then u plus x, now we have 101. Okay, so now let me run that and see what we get. So you can see we have come. So well have been stripped out of that code. So our outcome was come. Now you can see come. The first 3 characters was pulled out. W-E-L. You can see that. So what about if I remove the 3 from this position? I'll remove it from this position and place it here like this. What our outcome is gonna look like. So let's run that and see what we get. Wow, you see we got the opposite actually, which is W-A-L. Now that this first word is well, while this other one is come. So that means it picks from the first 3 and omits the one that is going to make it the 4th one, which is C. Then from there upwards. So 3 characters were selected, the rest are gone. So you can see the concept. So maybe that's what we are going to be using in this at this point of time. Now let us see if we can make it work the way it does. So if we instead of providing 3 there, we provide n there like this, then let's see the other one, str let me add the plus sign in between, plus str, then I go ahead and do another one and add an n here. So let me see how this one is going to look like. So gonna run that. Wow, we have welcome printed out. So this first well is coming from the order, this y, this second two is coming from the other one. I think 0 w was printed out, this remaining one was out. Okay, what about sorry. So what if I change this to something like, let me say 3. We'll still have the same thing printed out because it's not going to be omitted actually. You see, welcome is still printed out on the screen, which is this. Nothing actually changed. So we want to remove the particular index. So if we have welcome and 3 is sparse here, then what I want to happen here is I want C to be excluded from this. So how I'm going to do that is, if this prints 3, we know that it's going to print this first part of it, this S, T, R, and whatsoever, is going to print from WEL, and the remaining ones will be excluded. So this is what we are going to manipulate here. So how am I going to manipulate that? Let's see, if 3 here is excluded, what if I make it 4? Let me try making it 4. So you know 3 is sparse here and n stands for 3. So let me add plus 1 and let us see what we get. Wow, so this works. You can see we have WL. Now we want to start clearing. Instead of clearing from 3, which is going to clear COM or bring out COM, C is excluded in the equation. So you can see that. So what about if we pass minus 3? We expect to see something negative. So let's put minus 3 there. And let's see what our outcome looks like. What? Minus 3 removes the index O. Can you see that? Actually, this works very fine, but it works based on the index form because E should be minus 1, M, this is the one here, and the one at the end should be minus 1, and this M should be minus 2, then O should be minus 3. But actually, this is not the case, because if this is the case, this is actually correct. But this is not the case. The case here is whenever it is 0, I think. Whenever it is 0, like look at remove character school in this school, and it's set to 0. school was still printed out. So no, okay, 10. No, actually it's C is fun. C is fun, I mean. C is fun. So we have 0 there, passed as the second parameter. So you can see C was excluded. So the one that we have negative number like -2, Python, supposed to have O excluded, but Python was printed in full. So you can see that. So let's try 0 and see 0 work. Then we know the next thing to do. So if, for instance, I change this to 0, let's see what's going to happen. Okay, it works fine. W was pulled out, which was the first letter in the character. So we're going to write a condition that is going to print out the damn thing if a negative number is being provided. Understood? Good. So that is the solution. Yeah. So I'm just going to come to this other part and put an if statement. If n, that means the number provided is less than 0, like this, then I want you to print these on the screen. So sorry for that. So I want you to print the whole string on the screen. So I'm just going to print the whole string like this. Else, I want to print code. As 0 is provided, that's going to work fine. If we try that, it's still going to work the way it ought to work. But when you provide a negative number, see, WEL dot is still printed out. But if it is a negative number, for instance, something like -2, like that, and I'll run that right away. So let's run that. You see? Oh, I think 2 things are printed out at the same time. Okay, so I think there's something we need to rectify here. So I'm just going to add the else condition. Else condition. So I'm just going to put the else condition. Sorry. Else condition. So let's see what we got there. So welcome is printed out the way it ought to be printed out. So now that we have gotten that right, the next thing is we are not printing it out here. So what we're going to be doing is returning the values out there. So I'm just going to remove this print statement and replace it with return. and remove this other one and also return this code. So actually, if you run this, nothing is going to be printed out because it's not printed. Yeah, so nothing is printed out. So I am just going to get rid of this. But actually, whenever you use the return statement, you don't need to add the else again, because the return at the first if statement has terminated that function. So the function no more runs. So whenever I use if and else, because this else was there because I was using a print function. But when I'm using the return statement, which is this return statement, this else is no more needed, because after terminating the code, the next thing that happens is to jump out of this function, remove char at. You understand? If this is the one that returns the code, it terminates it and go out of this function. But if you are using a print function, what happens here is it runs this, then after it goes out of that and run the last thing that is there. So I don't think we need this anymore, and I'm just going to pull this back. So we are going to be creating, because we are going to be testing it somewhere else. So I'll just say main dot, sorry, vi101, then main dot py, just like that. So I'm just going ahead and open a Chrome browser. Then I'll copy those stuff there and paste it, then run it to see if it worked just fine. So I'm just waiting for this view to load right away. So make sure if you're new here to my channel and this is the first video you have come across, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, to loved ones, friends. If you have the opportunity to promote medium, please do and keep on comment. Just going to where we have testing aspects of this code. Just going to copy a whole bunch of this like that. So editor and paste all of them in this place. Now pasting them here. Good. Now we have stuff ready. Now you have to say chmod u plus x, then 101 main dot py. So right away we're just going to test that 101 main. So you can see we have the same thing printed out, BES no T with school, CH no I, cargo, Chicago, C is fun, C is excluded, school is full, and Python is full. So you can see. So stay tuned for the next one. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and have a nice day.